Hi, I'm Joe.
I'm Susie.
We're the Janays from Plaisance Ranch in the Applegate Valley. In 1898, my grandfather came to Jacksonville, Oregon, and brought the heritage of winemaking and cattle to the United States. So this has kind of been in our blood for a long time.
And the name of the...
Oh yeah, he named his place Plaisance Orchards, so that's where our name came from. Each year we produce about 2,000 cases of wine, and we process about 55 head of cattle. Come on guys, let's go. That's it, come on. So these cows are 100% grass-fed, no grain ever. It takes a little longer for them to fatten up because typically a cow doesn't fatten until it's done growing without grain. So these cows are going on 3 years old, some of them before they go to harvest, where a conventional cow would never be over 2 years old. And this is where we store the processed beef. There's about 30 head of cows in there now. Probably have room for at least 50 or 60 head of cows. So everything's born here, leaves in a package. We had to give up antibiotics to keep animals in the organic program, but if an animal gets sick or hurt, we don't withhold antibiotics from it. We give it the antibiotics, but then it has to go out of the organic plan. So it is now a conventional cow, it's not organic cow. And how do we know that? Is that pink tag tells us that this animal is one that Susie raised with a bottle. Because it's not an organic cow, it'll be sold outside of the organic plan. This is, we're standing in what we call the grass pasture. We know for sure that this piece of ground has not been plowed for 100 years. This hay is really tough, hard to mow, hard to bale, but it has a lot of forage, a lot of roughage, and a lot of protein for the cows. So we're looking for green. The green is good, healthy, nutritious forage for the animals. Cattle are the only living animals that can digest and make good out of lignin, and we can't digest lignin. We can get the carbohydrates out of the grains, out of the seeds, and we can get some of the protein out of the seeds, but all the stock is totally pretty much undigestible to us. The bacteria grow because of the lignin in the stock, and then the cows eat the bacteria. So that's part of that circle of order that in this universe. It's pretty cool. In 1998, we started a grapevine nursery. This here is a 2-acre block. There's 18 varieties here. The whole philosophy of the grapevine nursery is we take, depending on what kind of dirt you have, we have a variety of rootstock that likes your dirt. And then depending on where you live, what your climate is, what kind of wine you want to make, we take one bud of this varietal and we graft on the top of that rootstock stick. Then we go to a callus room, then we go to a greenhouse and we propagate a plant, a custom plant for your vineyard. So that's basically the nutshell of a grapevine nursery. We still had the dairy when we started that, and we were selling about 50,000 grafted grapevines a year, plus milking cows and planting our vineyards, and eventually we were able to sell the cows and move on to the wine business. So we're here in the cemetery vineyard. We don't really till any, we mow. We're on about 2 to 3 foot of blue clay with cobble rock here. So that the roots want to grow out and they don't have to go down because they have everything they need right there. So every couple years we rip with a large shank ripper and we cut these lateral roots off. It causes the roots to go down more. The soil here is very shallow. It's kind of a blue clay with a cobble. Everything from this size to that size cobble. We might water our vineyards once or twice a year, that's it. This up here grows much better wine. You can control the water intake and manage their growth a lot better and the vigor. This is Mondoux on 10114, so from here down is 10114 and up here is Mondoux. The roots of the American rootstock is resistant to phylloxera, and the roots of the Mondoux are not. So you do the grafting to avoid being infected with the phylloxera, and also you can select a rootstock that likes wet dirt or likes sandy soil or likes clay soil or likes, is drought tolerant. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this rootstock section. And then whatever kind of wine you want to make, you add that scion on the top. So here we are in the cemetery, right next to the cemetery vineyards. This is the Sparland Cemetery. It's a pioneer cemetery. A lot of the old timers are here. The Elijah Davison, who found the Oregon caves while bear hunting, is planted just up the hill here. So we're kind of scratching out a little niche here for ourselves. We still got 4 or 5 lots with a view here, so we're in good shape. These are our buddies, part of the Circle of Order in the great scheme of things. They just returned from the Sacramento Valley where they were pollinating the almonds, and here they're back to do their job here in Southern Oregon. We enjoy having them around, and they're a big help for the whole ecological picture. Okay, we're in the tasting room barrel room here. This was once our milking parlor. This is where we milked the cows for 30 years. This rock here used to stand down in the pit 4 feet. And up here was 5 cows on this side, 5 cows on that side over there. So we've just repurposed this building into a barrel room now. We poured the steps, filled the pit with rock, and once this room gets to be 50 degrees, all this wine, all this rock, all this concrete is 50 degrees. It's well insulated. It takes a lot to change it. So this is all kind of naturally cooled and maintained. But this is the 18 vintage. Up there in the other barrel room was the 17. This is the 18. When we bottle those wines at the end of the summer, these wines will be pumped up there, and then the new wines will be made in here. We'll heat up this room, run all our fermentation vats in here to keep temperature control on them, and then we start the process all over again. We cold stabilize by opening these doors and turning on the fans. When it gets down, of course, close to 30 degrees, we put the big fans in the door, and we take this room right down to 32 for 2 weeks, you know. On my right here, we have the hay storage and some of the venue for the events. And on this left-hand side, we have the winery operation. All former dairy buildings that have been repurposed for the beef and the wine industry. We have a way to clear this out and make wine or bottle or whatever we're doing. And then the next day, we have an event, 500 people. So here at Plaisance, since we were in the nursery business, we have a lot of different varieties of wines. We make 24 different wines. We start with a healthy grape, and then we let the natural order of things carry it through to make wine. We try not to interfere. I don't try to make price points or make it to any style. I just try to make wine that I like, and I hope other people like it as well. And so far, it's worked out pretty well.